Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा रीडिंग फ्रॉम श्रीमद् भागवतम by his divine grace AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 3, talks between Lord Shiva and Sati. So, yesterday we have seen that there is a big yagya, Brihaspata Sabha yagya, being arranged by Prajapati Dakṣa. He invited everyone, but purposefully did not invite Lord Shiva. Sati, when she saw across the universe, all the devatas, upadevatas, rishis, her own sisters and everybody, they are just moving for that yagya. She approached Lord Shiva and she's asking that, should we also go? So we are at text 9. Tasmin bhaginyo mama bhartubhi svakaira dhruvam gamishyanti suhud digrukshavaha aham cha tasmin bhavatabhikamaye Sahopanitam paribarhamarhitum. Translation.
I think that all my sisters must have gone to this great sacrificial ceremony with their husbands just to see their relatives. I also desire to decorate myself with the ornaments given to me by my father and go there with you to participate in that assembly. Purport. It is a woman's nature to want to decorate herself with ornaments and nice dresses and accompany her husband to social functions, meet friends and relatives, and enjoy life in that way. This propensity is not unusual, for woman is the basic principle of material enjoyment. Therefore, in Sanskrit, the word for woman is Stri, which means one who expands the field of material enjoyment. In the material world, there is an attraction between woman and man. This is the arrangement of conditional life. A woman attracts a man, and in that way, the scope of material activities involving house, wealth, children, and friendship increases, and thus, instead of decreasing one's material demands, one becomes entangled in material enjoyment. Lord Shiva, however, is different. Therefore, his name is Shiva. He is not at all attracted by material enjoyment, although his wife Sati was the daughter of a very great leader and was given to him by the request of Brahma. Lord Shiva was reluctant, but Sati, as a woman, the daughter of a king, wanted enjoyment. She wanted to go to her father's house just as her other sisters might have done and meet them and enjoy social life. Here, she specifically indicated that she would decorate herself with the ornaments given by her father. She did not say that she would decorate herself with the ornaments given by her husband because her husband was callous about all such matters. He did not know how to decorate his wife and take part in social life because he was always in ecstasy with thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. According to the Vedic system, a daughter is given a sufficient dowry at the time of her marriage, and therefore Sati was also given a dowry by her father, and ornaments were included. It is also the custom that the husband gives some ornaments, but here it is particularly mentioned that her husband, being materially almost nothing, could not do so. Therefore, she wanted to decorate herself with the ornaments given by her father. It is fortunate for Sati that Lord Shiva did not take the ornaments from his wife and spend them for ganja, because those who imitate Lord Shiva in smoking ganja exploit everything from household affairs. They take all of their wives' property and spend on smoking, intoxication, and similar other activities. Hare Krishna.
Now Satish began to say that all my sisters, and we have seen the illustrious sisters of Sati, and whom all they are got married to, the great saints. They all must have gone for this great sacrificial ceremony along with their husbands. So she says, my dear husband, Lord Shiva, I also want to decorate myself with the ornaments given by my father and participate in that assembly. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes here, it is woman's nature to decorate herself with ornaments and nice dresses and accompany her husband to social functions. So now, we have seen this in Devotee, we have seen this in Sati, right? And these are like outstanding examples of womanlyhood. So sometimes there is a misunderstanding amongst the devotees, that the misunderstanding amongst the devotee means, people feel that, oh, when I become devotee, that means, all this material enjoyment tendency must immediately go away. And, and people just live in something called the pure devotee syndrome. So that's why we again and again stress this point that, that one has to understand one's psychophysical nature, one has to understand one's time, place, circumstance, one has to understand one's position in Varnashram, and one should conduct accordingly. Asthai Vairagya is not very suited in Grihasthashram especially, right? So, so this is, now we are talking about such personalities as Devahuti and Sati. And Prabhupada is also writing a couple of, this is a continuation purport, Prabhupada writes this. And this propensity is not unusual, Prabhupada. For woman is the basic principle of material enjoyment. And now it is coming in the pages of Bhagavatam. Therefore, the material enjoyment is always, but one, this is very important thing that, this, for the scope of the material activities to improve involving the house, wealth, children, the friendship increases. And this is the scope of material activities. So the devotees who are reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, if you are in your 20s to read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, if you are in your 40s and your 60s, your outlook towards this purport will be slightly different based on, being age appropriate. At the same time, what is important is one should not be shy away to play one's role in one's particular age group. That is very important thing, right? Like, I know some devotees, I know some devotees had approached me and they were thinking that, Prabhuji, my son is not like Prahlad. Your son is not going to be like Prahlad. Correct. So we should not project some identity on our children, on ourselves, on our wife, on our husband, or something like that, and ask them to behave in a particular way. So Prabhupada doesn't have, write about like this. We have seen this example of Devotee, we have seen this example of Sati. So Sati wanted to decorate, and Prabhupada says that is the natural, that is the just being a nature of being a woman like that. And she got married to Lord Shiva. Now Lord Shiva is a different personality. Now amongst, and we are not Lord Shiva, nobody can become Lord Shiva. Okay, Lord Shiva is extremely different personality. Lord Shiva, Sati wanted to go, Lord Shiva was reluctant. And neither Lord Shiva could afford to give any ornaments to his wife. Look at the Maheshwara. Okay, he's a Mahadev. And he's such a devotee that he's always absorbed in thought of the Supreme Lord, that he was very careless about giving. Prabhupada writes He was very careless about all these matters, and he did not know how to decorate his wife, neither to take part in the social life also. So this was kind of a thing happening at that arena. And Prabhupada writes here, the people should take lessons from Lord Shiva's behavior. Many times people want to imitate Lord Shiva. They say that, oh, Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva took poison. Of course, Lord Shiva taking poison, we will see later. It is, highly spiritual and the world-saving activity. But people say, oh, Lord Shiva is also drinking poison. We will also drink poison. We will also smoke ganja or something like that. Or, that Jai Jai Shiva Shankar, and, those kind of songs are there in place. So, one cannot imitate Lord Shiva. And if you imitate Lord Shiva, Prabhupada says, there are many people who will imitate Lord Shiva and they will take the jewelry of the wife away and, that sell it and, buy some intoxication. And actually, selling the wife's jewelry, mother's jewelry, this is considered the Stri Dhana. And there are very specific instances about Stri Dhana in the scriptures and even in the Indian Penal Code, Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita also, there are very specific instances that this cannot be touched. Even if there is a ghar pe japti or this and that happens, that Stri Dhana cannot be touched. That's what we say, that although they are wearing Valkala and going, Mother Sita is wearing all her ornaments. Look at these three personalities. Sita, look at now, understand this. Sita wearing something like, imagine like she is wearing the saffron sari and everything, but she is fully decorated with her ornaments. Right? Devotee and Sati. So this Stridhana is, and the Stri being attached to that Stridhana is very, very natural and it should be like that. Okay, text 10. Any questions on this point? Yeah, so text 10. Tatra swasur me nanubhartu sammita matrusvasu klinnadhiyascha mataram drakshe chirotkanthamanamahirshibhir unniyamanam cha mudadvaram dvajam. Translation?
Translation: My sisters, my mother's sisters, and their husbands, and other affectionate relatives must be assembled there. So, if I go, I shall be able to see them, and I shall be able to see the flapping flags and the performance of the sacrifice by the great sages. For these reasons, my dear husband, I am very much anxious to go. Purport: As stated before, the tension between the father-in-law and son-in-law persisted for a considerable time. Sati had therefore not gone to her father's house for a long while. Thus, she was very anxious to go to her father's house, particularly because on that occasion her sisters and their husbands and her mother's sisters would be there. As is natural for a woman, she wanted to dress equally to her other sisters and also be accompanied by a husband. She did not, of course, want to go alone. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So now Sati says, my sisters, now we know number of sisters of Sati, my mother's sisters, their children, their husband, all of them must have come assembled there for that great sacrifice. So first is many, many relatives. There will be flapping flags, right? Just imagine that. Now, we are not talking about some saintly people coming together means, all are sitting in saffron and no, they are going to come in their own Vimana and, later we are going to see that Vimanas also, how they are going to arrive there. So just imagine you have some G20 Parishad going on in, Pune we had recently. And all these the different dignitaries coming, their aeroplanes, their caravan, their the whole thing coming, entourage coming, and it's so colorful and everything. Sati was excited. She wanted to see all that, and she also wanted to see the great sacrifice performed by such great sages. And for all these things, she wanted to go, but she did not want to go alone. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that Sati, the tension between Lord Shiva and Dakṣa continued for a considerable period. And Sati therefore did not have visited house of her father, Dakṣa, for a long time. And she was missing everyone. She was missing her mother, sister, all these relatives. And now it is very natural for her to go, and she wanted to dress equally to her other sisters and also accompanied by her husband. Okay. So one can say this, this sibling kind of a nature with Sati, that she also wanted to dress nicely, and that is perfectly fine. That should be the Sati should have been. And she also wanted to accompany her husband, and that is different. Why? Because he's Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva is a different personality altogether. And this is how she wanted to go, but not alone. Text 11, beautiful verse. We'll just recite this verse. त्वय्येतदाश्चर्यम् अजयात्ममायया
त्वय्येतदाश्चर्यम् अजात्मायया
विनिर्मितं भाति गुणत्रयात्मकम्
विनिर्मितभाति गुणत्रयात्मकम्
तथाप्यहं योषिदवित् अतत्त्ववित् त्यजते
तथापि अहं योषिद अतत्त्वविच्यते
दीनाददृक्षे भव मे भवक्षितिम्
दीनादृक्षे भव मे भवक्षितम्.
Translation.
This manifested cosmos is a wonderful creation of the interaction of the three material modes, or the external energy of the Supreme Lord. This truth is fully known to you, yet I am but a poor woman, and as you know, I am not conversant with the truth. Therefore, I wish to see my birthplace once more. Purport. Dakshayani Sati knew very well that her husband Lord Shiva was not very much interested in the glaring manifestation of the material world, which is caused by the interaction of the three modes of nature. Therefore, she addressed her husband as Aja, which refers to one who has transcended the bondage of birth and death, or one who has realized his eternal position. She stated the illusion of accepting the perverted reflection, the material or cosmic manifestation, to be real is not present in you because you are self realized. For you, the attraction of social life and the consideration that someone is father, someone is mother, and someone is sister, which are illusory relationships, are already over. But because I am a poor woman, I am not so advanced in transcendental realization. Therefore, naturally, this appears to me as real. Only less intelligent persons accept this perverted reflection of the spiritual world to be real. Those who are under the spell of external energy accept this manifestation to be fact, whereas those who are advanced in spiritual realization know that it is illusion. Actual reality is elsewhere in the spiritual world. But as far as I am concerned, Sati said, I do not have much knowledge about self realization. I am poor because I do not know the actual facts. I am attracted by my birthplace and I want to see it. One who has attraction for his birthplace, for his body, and for other such items mentioned in the Bhagavatam is considered to be like an ass or cow. Sati might have heard all this many times from her husband, Lord Shiva, but because she was woman, Yushit, she still hankered after the same material objects of affection. The word Yushit means one who is enjoyed. Therefore, woman is called Yushit. In the spiritual advancement, association with Yushit is always restricted because one is like a play doll in the hands of Yushit. Then all spiritual advancement is at once stopped. It is said those who are just like playthings in the hands of women, Yoshita Krida Mrugeshu, cannot make any advancement in spiritual realization.
Now Sati says, my dear Lord Shiva, you are a greatly advanced personality and you are a self-realized person. For you, this relationship, birthplace, all these are like Gunatrayatmakam, just the just combination of three modes of material nature. But as far as I am concerned, I am a poor soul. And I am not on your level of understanding everything else is Maya and we should be absorbed in the Supreme. I want to desire to meet my friends, relatives, and parents. And I also want to see my birthplace once again. Very, very humble submission by Sati, accepting that she is regular conditioned soul and just want to lead a regular life. I am not advanced like you, my dear Lord, my dear husband, Lord Shiva. Please let me go. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that Dakshayani Sati, she knew very well that her husband, Lord Shiva, was not very much interested in the glaring manifestation of the material world, which is all just three modes of material nature. I remember, way almost like 15, 18 years back, our one wonderful devotee from Singapore. Now he's back in India, Shivam Kapoor Prabhu from Kanpur. Now he's in Kanpur. He had given us some nice donation. Those days, they given a substantial donation for IYF, ISKCON Youth Forum, Vaiṣṇava. And to collect it and, to reciprocate with the donation, he said that please, if Radhesham Prabhu can come, that will be very nice. And Radhesham Prabhu wanted somebody. So, and because I was doing some follow-up and everything, so me and Radhesham Prabhu, we decided to go to Singapore. Now, how we went and that story, that cutting that short, in Singapore, Radhesham Prabhu gave one program, second program, and then some devotee said, Prabhuji, chalo, Singapore darshan ke liye jate hai. I had come with Radhesham Prabhu, and did I want to go? Absolutely, I wanted to go. Then I asked Radhesham Prabhu that, Prabhuji, should I go or not go? Should I go to? Radhesham Prabhu said, see, Mukundanand, what is there, in Pune, all the Maya is the same. That is the same Maya, only some different color people you will see, some different sophistication you will see, some nice routes and, some different machinery. What else is there in the material world? And I also convinced myself that, yeah, there is nothing in the material world as such to see. And I just skipped all those tour. And then when I came back, all my friends here, like, Krishna Kishore Prabhu, Sarvatma Prabhu, Tulsi Prabhu, they said, Arey, tum Singapore se kya hai? You did not spare some 5-10 hours here and there. For so many days you were there. Jara dekh ke bhi aate Singapore. It's just a city country. It doesn't take more than 4 hours to go around Singapore and just see. So this was the combo that happened. Okay. So here, Lord Shiva is absolutely not interested in anything material. He doesn't, Aniketa, he doesn't have a house also. He has no ornaments, nothing. And Sati, she said that, I wanted to see everything. That's what the life is. And whenever such a situation happens in married life, the standard is always the set by the below standard. It is, this is general rule of counseling, is that whenever such a situation happens, which is the standard to follow? Generally, it is the below standard. Right. So people has to adjust themselves and come to progressively they have to come to. One cannot directly say that no, not like this. Sati further says, you may not be attracted to social life, but I am attracted to. You understand that entire material world is Maya, but for me, Janani Janmabhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. This is the shloka from Ramayana actually. That for me, Janani is very important. I want to see my mother. Janmabhumi, my birthplace, that is also very important. I want to see that. Maybe I'm less intelligent. Maybe I'm enamored by Maya. But this is how I am. I cannot understand that actual reality is somewhere and this is simply a reflection. I want to go. Srila Prabhupada writes here that progressively, age appropriate according to one's age, one should come out of this material fascination and one should become progressively attached to the spiritual activities. This is very important. Otherwise, they are called as Yoshit. Yoshit means, one who is happy enjoying the material activities, constantly enjoying the material activities, and there is no limit to it. Right. And Maya will keep on coming with so many different tools of material enjoyment. By the time TV was regularized, internet came. By the time internet is regularized, OTT has come. By the time OTT is regularized, some experiential, some meta is going to come. So one after another, things will be coming. But as we progress in one's age, one should be slowly coming out and advancing on the spiritual advancement. And Prabhupada writes here, and therefore, one should not become Yoshit or controlled by Yoshit. Yoshit means one is engaged in enjoyment activities. And if one is controlled by Yoshita, Yoshit Krida Mrugeshu cha, then making spiritual advancement will be very, very difficult. So how not to become Yoshit Krida Mrugeshu cha? Simple way is follow the Vaishnava etiquettes. This is the simplest way to, coming to not to become Yoshit Krida Mrugeshu cha. So this is how Satī. Now look at the verses of Satī. Now this is being the frankness of Satī. One can see also being frankness of Devahuti. That they said, yeah, her husband said, Devahuti's husband said, Kardamamani, that what do you want? You have performed such a wonderful austerity for me, and for so many years you have suffered yourself, then tapasya. She said, I just want to enjoy life. And that is celebrated in Bhagavatam because that was age appropriate. And what was the product of that celebration? Kapila Muni. What is the philosophy of Kapila Muni? Sankhya Yoga. And finally, Devahuti went back to Godhead. Sati, she also went, of course, she again came back as Parvati and became the eternal consort of Lord Shiva. But there is, so this age appropriate is being very important. So one should not project some unnecessary identity on oneself, thinking we are advancing or advanced by depriving. And there has to be balance. This statement cannot be stretched to x-axis, any of the extremes. One has to be samatvam yoga uchyate finally. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.